I've actually been driving illegally for the past, like, month. Awful start. The feds will come after you. They're already after me for the tax evasion. Actually, it's not evasion. I pay my taxes. Or, well, the thing is, I didn't pay my taxes for a little while. Whoops. Let me guess, you lost your license? Kind of. All right, so chat, I have been driving illegally, technically, for the past, like, I don't know, month or so. Because I got a new phone, basically. And, I don't know how it is in other countries, but here in Denmark, we actually have an app for, your driver's license, where you can basically just port it over to the app, and then you don't need your physical license with you if you're going somewhere. You can just, use the app to show it. But my dumbass did not transfer it over. Because I didn't realize that when you get a new phone, it's not automatically transferred over. You know, I had the app installed, but I forgot that, you know, you need to reinstate, like, your license, basically. And I hadn't done that. So I was going out with a friend, and I don't go out often, but we're going into a bar, and they had to check IDs, and you're allowed to use the driver's license on your app to show your ID. Wait, I'm going the wrong way. Whoops. And then I realized, as I'm going into the app, and my friend Maz is already in the bar, I realized, oh shit. Oh shit. My license is not on here. So I keep calling him, like, Maz, we need to go back home. We need to go back home. I don't have an ID on me. I don't have an ID on me. We need to go home and get it. So I had to go home and get my passport because you needed to scan that in order to get the license into the app. So we did that, and all was good. We went back to the bar. Luckily, it was only like 5 minutes away from my place, so it's not a big deal. But then I realized in that moment, holy shit, I have been driving illegally for the past, like, month since I got the phone. Because I didn't realize I needed to transfer it over, and I didn't have my physical license with me. So thank God I was never, like, pulled over during that that period of time, because I would have been fucked. Did you get caught? Thankfully not. Your dad's a cop too, so he would have found out. Well, I mean, I've driven with my dad before I got my license. Okay, you know what? Let me tell you guys the entire story of me taking driving lessons. Because it was wild. My driving teacher also told me I was bad at driving. And I drove illegally. Let's go back. Let's go way back. First year of college, I'm one of the people who don't live at the campus. You can live at campus, but you can also, it doesn't really matter. It's not mandatory to live there, basically. So I'm one of the few people not living at campus. I mean, there's also other people who don't live at campus, but most of them live pretty close by. I lived like 30 minutes away, so I had to take the bus. And I didn't really like taking the bus, because, I don't know, I'd prefer to be able to drive. So, I'm 17 at this point, so I'm allowed to get my license. But here in Denmark, you're not allowed to drive by yourself until you're 18, basically. If you're 17 with your license, you have to have an adult in the front seat with you. I'm 17 and I'm like, okay, I'm turning 18 in like a few months. This is like October, November time. I'm like, okay, I'm turning 18 in March. So by the time I have my license, I'll almost be 18. So that'll be great. Cause like taking the bus is fine and all, but like it'd be more freeing to be able to just drive to the school every day. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna finally get my shit together and get my license. And let me tell you, I was nervous to get it. Let me tell you. And I start in January, which means by the time I'm done, I'll almost be 18. So I'm like, perfect. How easy is the driving test? Oh, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. I get on a team because you have both your theory classes and then you have your actual like driving lessons, basically. We started in January and we were done in like March. Of course, unless you fail your theory test, in which case you have to try again. And there's long periods of waiting in between. The same with driving tests. So it can take a while, but the actual theory course is about 2 months. So anyway, we start the theory, and we start on a Monday with theory, and then she says, on Wednesday, you're going out driving for the first time. We're going right into it. And I'm like, okay, I thought we wait a little bit more with the actual driving part. Okay, I did not expect this, but sure, that's great. I'm nervous as shit. I'm fucking nervous as shit. My driving teacher, she's some like, not old lady, but she's like 60 something, I'm pretty sure. Little bit on the older side. And when I saw her husband, who helped with tech issues, because she always had issues with tech when presenting these like PowerPoint presentations, and giving us the actual like practice tests for the theory part. And the only thing I could think of every time her husband came in to help her was he looks like Mike from Breaking Bad. That's all I could think about. She's a boomer. She was a big old boomer. Even just the website where you had to apply was so like 2008 MySpace coded. It was it was so fucking funny. But anyway, she seemed sweet enough. It was whatever. It was just a little bit funny that she was a boomer with tech, you know. So anyway, first day goes pretty well, but I'm a little nervous that we already have to drive. That I didn't expect that. I thought it'd take a little bit longer before we actually went out on the road. And it's on like a practice course. They have an entire like little like area dedicated to like, you know, practice your driving before you actually go out on the road. So I'm like, okay, fuck me. So my dad and I, technically I guess this is illegal, but it's not that bad, because we go out to like this, I don't know, little spot where there's like no cars driving. It's just like a little course, I guess. We go out with our car, just I'm a little bit prepared. We go out there and, you know, we try to drive, nothing serious, just like up to like 30 kilometers an hour, just trying in the first 3 gears, just to get the hang of it. And it goes terrible because I'm a newbie. But you know, I was feeling more confident in going out to drive the next day at the very least. So that's good. The day comes, Wednesday, goes surprisingly well. You know, I stalled a shit ton, but that's to be expected. Everyone does. And the day before, some dude had actually crashed one of the cars. Even though the cars are designed to just be like practice cars out on these courses, someone actually managed to like floor it and not be able to stop, even though we're told very clearly how to stop if you panic. But he didn't. So he drove into like one of the garages, and the fucking the car was just destroyed. It was like a little Toyota Yaris or something like that. Nice cars, but you know, tiny car, and it was destroyed. Was he a maniac? No, he literally just panicked and somehow just fucked it up completely. So anyway, safe to say, at least I didn't do that badly. So I was on pretty decent pace. I was feeling more confident now. Theory was still going well, somehow. I would love to see the CCTV footage of that. That would have been crazy. So anyway, a few weeks later, we start on the actual driving lessons, where we are going out on the real roads in my driving teacher's car, and there's a sign up on the car saying, like, student driver, just so people know. And she's beside us. She has, like, pedals, and she'll take control of the wheel. So, you know, obviously, driving lessons. Again, I'm explaining all this because a lot of people are American who watch, and I think it's very different over there. You can literally, even if you don't have your license, you can just jump into a car, as long as you have one of your parents beside you. You can just jump into your car and just start driving, just as tests, which is crazy to me. And I'm very happy we have this system in Denmark. The driving tests, or the driving lessons, initially go pretty well, you know, not too bad. Again, I needed to get the hang of it, and there was a lot my mind could not keep up at the time. But, you know, I was like, okay, I'll get the hang of it eventually, hopefully. My driving teacher was saying the same. She was pretty chill about it. She was like, yeah, you'll get the hang of this eventually. I'm not too concerned about it. That was until we start getting further on into the lessons. Because you see, she told me at first, you're actually you're a very good driver. I'm actually very impressed with your skills, but you need to work on your mirrors. You need to look more in the mirrors. Speeding offense. Whoops. I was going 81 and an 80. She tells me that. It's like, you need to look more in your mirrors. You know, you need to look in this mirror first. If you're turning to the left, then the left mirror, and then the left blind spot. Like that, basically. Shit. This mirror, this mirror, this mirror. And if you're going to the right, this mirror, and then, you know, blind spot. And I forgot that. I would forget that a lot. There we go. Watch it! Yeah, so she tells me, you're good, you just need to look in your mirrors more. So I try to remember, but my dumbass doesn't always remember. Every single time you move, you see, the thing is, in a driving test, here, they're very strict. You have to look in your mirrors and do that exact routine. Mirror, mirror, shoulder. Every single time before you move the car, even the slightest bit, you have to do it to whatever side you're moving the car. So you have to be very cautious at all times, and you have to be very attentive at all times. So my driving teacher was very strict about it. Initially, it was just like a little, like, you know, your driving's good, just look in your mirrors more, please. So I was like, fair. And as we go further on, it's like, you know. So yeah, that's what happened during one of my driving lessons. Hopefully my driving teacher never sees this. All right, so as the lessons progress, I don't know what it is. My dumbass just keeps forgetting to look in the mirrors enough. And I try my best, but my best just isn't enough. My dementia ass just doesn't really learn it super quickly. I was not the fastest learner when it came to my driving lessons. And my driving teacher, her name was Britta. And Britta was not too patient with me. In the beginning, she was like decently patient. But as the lessons progressed, her patience did not progress. Or like her tolerance, it just got lower and lower and lower as time went on. And I realized, okay, I'm a pretty slow learner at this. And it's pretty hard to practice because I didn't have this wheel in these games back then. I couldn't just go out and drive. Like, yeah, sure, I could go out with my dad on those courses. You know, that little course and just practice in the lower gears, but I couldn't actually practice anything on the actual roads, which made it a little bit difficult. Because it was getting bad. Let me tell you, she was pretty mad about the mirror routine not, you know, getting its way into my head by this point. She was pretty mad about it. She actually started to yell because she was not happy about how bad I was at that routine. By this point, she was getting so impatient that anytime we were like driving, she would like, yeah, she would yell quite a bit and be like, Sandra, you need to get it into your head by this point. Mirror, shoulder. How hard can it be? You really need to get it into your head. No matter how many times I fucking tell you to, you don't do it. It's starting to hurt a little bit. You know, she's right, but it's starting to hurt a little bit. So I'm just like holding back tears, just keeping my composure, just like, yeah, I'll get better. I'll get better. I promise. I did not get better though. She's slowly but surely getting fed up with me. She started cursing too. Yeah, she did. She did not hold back on that part. She did not. She had no chill. But theory is going pretty well. I'm nailing all the tests, and with theory at least I could practice at home. That was the benefit I had there. So theory's going well. I'm nailing all the practice tests, and I'm feeling pretty confident. A little nervous, but I'm feeling pretty confident when we get to the actual theory test. And I pass. Only 2 errors. You're allowed to have 5 errors. Anything above that, you fail. And I passed with 2 errors. In fact, me and this other girl, Caroline, on our like theory team, we were the only 2 people to pass with 2 errors. The rest was like somewhere like 4 errors, 5 errors, shit like that. We passed with 2 errors. We were feeling on top of the world, baby. And it's always weird because right after the theory test, we go out to practice like icy roads, which is so fucking fun. But the trip out there is always interesting because, you know, some people, they're crying about the fact that they failed, and others are celebrating that they passed. And then once you go out on the icy roads, it's a good place for you to either just drive freely and, you know, celebrate that you passed, or get your frustrations out because you failed. Either or, it is a fantastic opportunity. So we go out there. Again, it's the Toyota Yaris's. Pretty dope cars. And I'm feeling on top of the world. That's a high I've never felt. The sun was out. The weather was great. I had just passed. And we're out on the icy roads. And it's fun as shit to practice on the icy roads. So I'm just having a fucking blast. So much so, in fact, that, like, once you go through the course to go to the icy roads, like, there's a little bit of way before that, like, you have to drive through. And there's a very clear speeding limit of about 40 kilometers per hour. But because I am very, very excited, I am speeding on ahead. And maybe also a little too confident in my driving skills, especially since I don't have to use the mirrors, because, I mean, who the fuck's gonna be out there, you know? So I'm just cruising along, having a blast. My ass is a little too excited, just cruising along. So I speed a little bit, which I didn't think it was an issue, because it's just a practice course. Who cares if you're speeding, right? But every single time one of us speeds on that road, it does a little ringing in Britta's ear. She's standing there watching us, and it does a little ringing in her ear, in the headphones she's wearing. So, she was telling us, like, okay, please be careful, watch out for the speed. But I didn't listen. I did not listen. So every single time, I'm just cruising along, just, woo! And just, like, driving probably 50 in the 40 zone. You know, nothing crazy, just, like, 50. And then she tells me, like, Xander, for fuck's sake! It keeps ringing in my ear every single time you're speeding. Please stop. And then my dumbass did it again. And like a disappointed mother, she just says, Xander, can you please stop speeding? Because there's like speakers in the car, so she can like guide us and say, okay, next person to go on the icy road. All right, next. Or if someone like stalls completely and doesn't know what to do, just tells them what to do. And so she guides us through the speaker, and then you can just hear in the speaker occasionally be like, Xander, please stop speeding. Like at first she's like yelling, and then eventually she just loses all hope. And it's just like a disappointed mother. Xander, please stop speeding. Thank you. It keeps ringing in my ear. So anyway, theories passed. I just have a few driving lessons left before I have to go to my driving test. And my driving test is actually only a few days after my birthday, so I'll be 18 by the time I have my license, which means I can drive by myself. Boss! Fuck yeah. So I take a few more driving tests, or like driving lessons, and it goes decent. But again, the mirror routine isn't... It's not quite like seeped its way into the brain just yet, you know? And so she keeps getting pretty mad about it, you know? She'd be scolding me a lot. And then I had a driving test on my birthday, and because it's my birthday, she was being nice to me on that day. The remainder of the day, she had no chill. I just thought that was so fucking funny. On my birthday, she was like, "Okay, I'm gonna take a chill for today." The rest of the days, I'm not gonna hold back. But on his birthday, he gets a pass. And during one of the driving tests, it's a rainy fucking day. I was already late to the driving lesson. You know, my alarm didn't wake me up, so I had to hurry. Things weren't going great, so I was not at full focus. And again, the mirror routine wasn't quite there. Excuse, but basically, I was not performing at my best. So, she was getting pretty fed up, so she, like, said, like, hey, Xander, can you just, like, pull up to the side real quick? I was like, yeah, sure. And so I do. And again, at this point, I think she's just tired of yelling at me. So again, she goes into like disappointed mother mode, and she is like, okay, listen, I don't know what to do anymore. Because no matter how many times I tell you to look in your mirrors, you're still not doing it. I mean, you're looking in your mirrors, but you keep forgetting the routine. You're not looking in your blind spots. You need to look more in your blind spots. You need to remember the routine. And I'm like, I'm trying to remember the routine, but I don't really know. I don't. And she's like, yeah, just stop making fucking excuses. All right. I don't know what I need to do for you to end up getting the routine into your head, but you need to get your shit together. And I'm sitting there trying to keep my composure, like, yeah. I get it. I'll try. I'll try to, you know, be more aware. And I'm just sitting there trying not to fucking bawl my eyes out. And as soon as I get home from that lesson, I run into my fucking room and I just bawl my eyes out. Holy shit, that was a giant test. That was not just a driving test, that was a test of composure. Safe to say, I was not quite ready. The driving test day comes, and you have to practice a few maneuvers with your driving teacher before you end up going to the actual test. And we do. And once again, she tells me, please pull to the side. And then she gets back. I guess, I don't know what's going through her head at this point, but she goes back into angry mode, like properly fucking angry. She was like crashing out at this point. She unloaded on you. Please don't phrase it like that. She tells me calmly to pull up to the side, and I do. And then she yells and says, Xander, I cannot believe I am sending you to the driving test today. Your driving is way too fucking bad. I am astonished. So, not a great start. Again, rainy day, sad fucking day. I'm once again late. Things aren't going great. And also, there was another thing you had to read up on before your test, because your actual like driving test, your like instructor or like the person who has to, like, pass or fail you, they will ask you questions about, like, I don't know, motor stuff, about the handbrake, about the steering wheel, you know, nerdy shit that you need to know. I didn't know that you needed to read up on these things, so she asked me through all the questions to make sure I know. I know none of them, and she's like, wow, you have not read up on this. And by this point, she has no faith in me. I fucked up hard at this point, right? And she has no faith left in me. She has lost all patience. I go into the test, nervous as hell. The driving instructor, he's a nice dude. And, somehow, I end up remembering the answers to the 3 questions he asked me before. Out of pure luck. So I'm like, okay, good start, good start. And the way the driving test works, at least here in Denmark, is you have to drive for about 30 minutes, I think. About 20 or 30 minutes. And you have to do one of 3 maneuvers. Which is either parallel parking, regular parking, or like a 3-point turn. He tells me to parallel park. And they do this at random points throughout your test. They tell you to do one of these maneuvers. And, you know, we're going along. I'm cocky, but I'm like, okay, I think it's going pretty well. In my head, I'm like, okay, it's actually going well. I'm remembering the routine, finally. I think I'm driving pretty good. I stalled at one point, but that's not something they can fail you for, you know? And I'm like, okay, just, you know, keep my cool and just starting the engine again. Nothing too bad. So I'm like, okay, I'm acing this test. Then he tells me to parallel park, and I'm like, fuck. I do the parallel parking. It's decent, but, you know, it's a parallel parking job. It's parallel parking. All right? If you could actually parallel park properly, you're a psychopath. But anyway, he's like, yeah, I mean, you could be closer, but it's fine. Nothing too bad. So anyway, we keep driving. And once we go back to the station where they either pass or fail you, I'm sitting there waiting in anticipation. And he also, like, hypes it up. He's like, well, and then he grabs his book in the back seat, slowly pulls out the pen, and he says, well, you didn't pass. Like, motherfucker, you can't just hype it up like that and then just be like, you didn't pass. And this dirty dog, this dirty fucking dog, he tells me, look, you're doing everything right. You are a very good driver. You have all the gears down. You have the routine down. Everything is honestly as it should be, and you're really good at looking in your mirrors and your right blind spot. However, there was this one spot, like this one, like intersection, I think, where you didn't look enough in your left blind spot, and therefore I'm gonna have to fail you. And I was like, this is an insane thing to say. They are this strict, and I think it depends on who you get. Saved. Yeah, that's what happened on my driving test. I still passed. Does anyone still use parallel parking? No sane human does. So he fails me. And by this point, I'm just sad, right? I'm just sad because my overly confident ass was sure I was going to pass because I thought it was going so well. And that hurt, man. Just that one spot. That one spot. If I had just been a little bit, you know, if I had just been a little bit more attentive, that one spot, I would have passed. But oh well, shit happens. Anyway, I go out. My driving teacher can tell I did not pass. And she's like, well, how'd it go? And I was like, well, he said I was good. I just had to look more in my left blind spot this one place. She was like, yeah, well, figured. I'm just sad. And she's disappointed. It's not a great time. And she's about to drive me home. And as she starts to drive, the engine starts to sound a little weird. And I'm like, that's weird. Like, that doesn't usually sound like that. And she's like, did it sound like this when you were taking the test? And I was like, no. No, it sounded perfectly fine. This is very weird. Anyway, we think nothing of it, and she just continues to drive. Then, 5 seconds later, the vehicle malfunctions. And just as I say that, this vehicle malfunctions as well. What the fuck? Well, at least this one can still drive. But anyway, She drives for 5 more seconds, and suddenly the engine just stops completely. And she cannot start her car again. And she's mad. She's fucking mad. She's like, fucking piece of shit car. I fucking hate it. Such an old fucking trash ass car. And I mean, I agree. It was an old trash ass car. The gears were super stiff and it stalled all the time. And now the fucking engine malfunctioned. I had just failed my fucking test. Both of us were sad. Well, I was sad. She was super disappointed and mad. And then her fucking car broke down. So everything on this day is just not going well. It's insane, though, that this happened after the driving test. Imagine if it had happened during the test. We would have been fucked. She's calling her husband to come pick us up. And then she calls service to get the car towed. And so her husband can drive me home. And then they can get that situation figured out. Her husband's actually super chill. I drove with him once for driving lessons. And he was super chill. And very patient. Very different energy to what Britta, to Britta's like energy. It was pretty fucking funny. He drives me home. He asked me how the test went. I'm say the same thing. Well, you know. He said I was driving good. Just needed to look more in my left mirror, left blind spot. And he was like, well, you'll get it next time. I'm sure you'll get it, champ. So anyway, I'm just sad by this point, right? But then I also start to laugh at the fact that her fucking car, her piece of shit car, broke down right after the test. What are the odds? It didn't break down at all during the test. Then right after, it does. Some time passes. And finally, after a long wait, I get a new date for a driving test. This was in like April. I think it was on 420 that I went on to the second driving test, which is boss 420. That's hype. And anyway, she's like, let's do a couple more driving lessons. Just since it's been a long time, let's make sure you're prepared for the second one. So I'm like, okay. Fuck. I haven't driven in a while. I need to get this mirror shoulder routine in before I actually go up to the actual driving test, because I don't want to get another scolding from her. Then I got the brilliant idea of playing GTA 5 first person. Obviously, it's not the same thing because there's no steering wheel. It's just, you know, keyboard and mouse. But I can practice the routine of shoulder mirror to get that into my head finally. So I do that every day for hours and hours and hours, just to make sure I finally get it into my goddamn skull, engraved into the skull. So I do that, and I'm a lot more confident in the routine now, finally. And I come back to the driving tests, and she's like pleasantly surprised. She's like, you know what? Honestly, good shit. You've improved. It's clearly finally been engraved into your head. I don't know how the fuck you've done that. And I'm just like, well, I don't know. I mean, I guess, I don't know. Just. I've just gotten good. You know, I don't really know what the hell I've done. It's going a lot better. The days are getting brighter. The sun's coming out. The dawn of the new driving test is upon us. But even though I'm more confident in the routine, I can tell that like my driving habits have gotten a little worse because I haven't driven in a long time. So I needed to get that routine back up and running. So I'm feeling pretty nervous to actually go to the next test because I'm not feeling prepared. To be honest, even after all the driving lessons. So what do? I drive illegally. My dad and I decided, okay, to lay off the nerves a little bit, just to make sure I'm more confident and to make sure my dad can see how well I'm driving. Let's go out on an evening where there are basically no cars around, where I'm driving the car, he's in the front seat, and it's technically illegal. Technically. But my dad's a cop, so who cares? But we do it. We take a huge fucking risk. And all he says is just like, well, as long as you drive good, shouldn't be a problem. So we do that. And it goes well. And he's like, yeah, I'd say you're ready. Aren't you admitting it on the internet now? I also admitted to not paying taxes for months. And I admitted to sending a dick pic to someone when I was 13. Like, I feel like my life is pretty out there by now. I don't feel like I've got a lot to hide. Plus, I don't think the Danish government is going to watch this and be like, oh my god, he drove illegally 2 years ago. How dare he? The second test comes around. I'm more prepared this time. I have read up on my shit as far as the questions goes. I'm feeling a lot more confident in my driving skills. I'm looking in the mirrors and blind spots all the fucking time. We're parked up at the driving school. and she asked me all the questions, and she's very impressed with my knowledge. I have read up on my shit this time, even unnecessary extra knowledge. And she's like, okay, you didn't need to add that, but like, glad you did. It shows you read up on your shit. Fucking let's go. But then as we're about to drive out to practice the maneuvers, you know, the parallel parking, regular parking, and three-way turn, my leg shakes. Like my left leg is shaking like crazy, and as I'm lifting up the clutch, she can feel it. It's like she's like, whoa, are you good? I try to play it off cool. I try to keep my composure and be like, I don't know what is happening. My leg is shaking. I really don't know what's happening. Maybe it's just the coffee I had this morning. I don't really know. By this point, the mask is starting to fade. She can tell. It's like, and she's like, are you nervous? Like a lot of people are nervous. Like, it's all good if you are, but we can talk about it if you want to. And so by this point, I fucking crack. Boys, by this point, the masculine tough guy persona, it ain't working anymore, man. I crack. I start fucking weeping. Brother, I am nervous as shit. I can't even lie at this point. I'm fucking nervous. I failed the first one. And so she's like, okay, let's just take it chill. Let's just stop the engine and let's just talk for a bit. It's all good. You're all good. Credit where credit's due. You know, she scolded me a lot by this point, but right here, she's actually like, you know, very good at like handling this situation. Didn't she verbally abuse you? Yeah, that's why it's so funny that by this point, like, she had no like chill before, but now she softens up and she's like, hey, it's all good. It's all chill. Like, you know, a lot of people are nervous, but honest to God, you're doing great. You've improved a lot. And genuinely, I know I said you weren't ready the first driving test, but I genuinely think you are ready now. You've shown a lot of improvement, and I fucking believe in you. That definitely gave me the confidence booster I needed. It was weird because by this point, I did not have a great relationship with her after all the previous driving lessons that had given me PTSD. But for her credit, I was feeling a lot more confident now. And it was a different driving instructor this time. She was very sweet. She was very nice. But the funny thing about this test is the other guy would always say, like, a long time in advance when you had to turn. He'd be like, all right, at the next exit up there, I want you to turn to the right or to the left or whatever. This girl, she was just like, yeah, I want you to turn to the left. Like right before, if we go up to this exit right here, she would say right now, I want you to turn to the left. Wait, right now? Yeah. Oh shit, so I had to like blink, use the mirrors, hurry up, brake, shift to second gear because it's a manual transmission. I had to do all that shit in the matter of like 2 seconds. Every time I was surprised. I was like, wait, you want me to start, right now? She's like, yeah. Fucking brother, what how do you want me to do that this matter of 2 seconds? She tells me to do a 3-point turn. It doesn't go amazingly, but you know, the rest of the test is going pretty good. Apart from at one point, I turned on the wipers accidentally, and I couldn't figure out how to turn them off again. So I'm sitting there panicking, keep on trying, until I eventually, finally, just after like, I guess trial and error, finally turned them off. So anyway, you know, dumb mistakes, but she said in the end, you know, I can't fail you for any of that. You were a great driver. You're driving exactly as you should. Made a few minor mistakes, but you know, those are mistakes every driver makes. Doesn't matter. Nothing I can fail you for. And thankfully, unlike the other guy, as soon as we pull up to the station, she's like, you passed. So I'm like, thank God. Thank God. She didn't hype it up like the other dude. She just instantly said, you passed. Fuck yeah. Let's fucking go. This time, it's a sunny day. I had slept properly. I had showered. I was prepared. And I was relieved that, one, I didn't have to see Britta ever again. And two, that despite our interesting history together, we at the very least ended it on a good note. So what's the moral of the story? If you're a driving teacher, please have patience. But if you are a driving student, please be more prepared than I was. And maybe don't drive illegally. But, I mean, I got away with it. So it'll work out, but please don't.